Hey, what's up guys, Master here, come back with a brand new video for you guys. Today we're going to be talking about 3 investments I think you should be making right now as we're moving into a little bit of a downturn in the market. These are 3 things I've suggested in the past, but right now you're going to be getting them on a huge discount and I think you're really going to be happy moving forward. But before we hop on into it, only a small percentage of you guys who watch the videos are actually subscribed, and if you're not already following my Twitch channel, it helps me out a ton and I plan to start streaming on there very soon. But let's hop on into it. Now, the 3 items I'm going to be talking about today are all cases, and they're cases I've mentioned in the past. First one here is the Hydra Case. Now, the reason I chose the Hydra Case is it's one I've talked very highly about in the past. There's just a very big bottleneck on the amount of cases that are out there, leading to a very easy case to invest into that's not super expensive compared to some of the other ones, but there's still not a ton of cases out there. Currently, there's less than 1,000 listed on the market, and it's seen a pretty big fallback in recent times. Right now we're sitting at maybe $12 maximum. You're able to get it a bit cheaper with a buy order, but we've seen a big decline from over $20 less than a month ago, and this has just been a huge drop off for the case. I think there's a lot of good things coming for this case in the future, and right now is a really good time to buy in if you have not done so already. With skins like the Op Onitaji and the M4A4 Hellfire, skins that are actually pretty desirable at the higher level, I think that these skins are able to push the case price up, which is something that's not that common now. We're starting to get to the point where these older cases are just becoming expensive because there's not too many of them out there, and not because the actual skins inside are super expensive. Op Onitaji Factory New is almost $500, and that's going to be a very good selling point for trying to get people to invest into this case in the future. I think a lot of people are going to be opening this case in the future because of that. When you can open up an op just in Factory New for $500 and stat track over $1,500 on the market, I think it's going to bring a lot of extra people in to open this case up, and for $10-12 I think they're going to be very enticed to. Next up here, I have the eSports 2013 Winter Case. Now, I have the Winter Case on here for one specific reason. It's only got 1 red that you can trade up to, and this is becoming a very good case to invest into because those pinks have become so restricted moving forward. There's not many pinks out there that can trade up to 1 red, and this gives the case already a pretty good price point. Combine that with the fact that we saw the potential it has to reach $8 easily and sustain that price for short periods of time, makes me very confident moving forward that this price point of around $5 will increase. I think that we've seen this case has been roughly around the $4 to $5 range for a long time. We saw that little blip there where it went up to around that $7-8 mark, and I think that just shows the potential it has moving forward, and I think that potential is going to come back very soon in the future. We're going to see as soon as Csgo later this year gets its big player back boost, I think that we are going to see the price go up to around that $8 to $10 mark. Now, speaking of the things actually inside the case, I think that this case has some really good options for pinks and a couple purples. I think that the AK-47 blue laminate looks really nice. I think that the pinks overall don't look terrible. Unfortunately, the M4A4 X-Ray is not worth really anything, but that's not too surprising considering that all these pinks are constantly traded up for it. Plus, overall, it's just not the greatest of looking skins, so I think it's very reasonable to assume that the price won't be very high on it. But like the Hydra Case, this one also has a very nice bottleneck on the amount of cases out there. Currently, there's just under 2,000 of them. We've seen a lot of them come to the market very recently, and that's why the price is such a good price right now, as we've seen so many people listing these and just undercutting each other to try and sell them, that we're seeing a ton of them on the market and we're seeing super low prices for these. The good thing about the eSports 2013 Winter Case though is it seems like it's gained a support line of a roughly 4 to 450, so I can't see this case going very much lower than what it's at right now. I feel like right now is probably a really good time to buy moving forward. Finally then, for my last case, I've got the Shattered Web Case. Now, if you know me, I love the Shattered Web Case. I think it's a really good investment moving forward, and we're seeing a super low price right now for the Shattered Web Case. We're seeing roughly $1.20 to $1.30 price point. This is going to be the best time to buy in if you have not already. The Shattered Web Case It's one of my favorites just because it's similar to the Hydra case in the fact that after the operation ended, no more of these cases were dropping, so that leaves it into a very interesting position where there's no more of these cases that will be created in the future. And this is also the same for the eSports case. There's no more eSports cases created in the future, and that's why these cases made the list. The list was compiled of all these cases because they won't be returning in the future, so the price point it has right now is probably the most stable out of any of the older cases. I think that the Shattered Web case though definitely has a lot of potential, especially with those knives it has. But the thing is, the Fracture case also contains those knives, so I'm not going to be using the knives as a big selling point for this case. I think this case is going to be sitting in a very similar position to the Hydra case in a couple of years. We can see a very similar position between the Shattered Web cases and the Op containment breach it contains, and the Hydra case and the Onitaji it contains. The Onitaji, like we said, was around $400, $500 for that factory new one. Here, the Op containment breach is currently listed for just under $300, which is a really good price for it. Now, my one hesitancy to say between those two cases and comparing them is that the Hydra case has these gloves that are actually at a pretty high price point compared to the knives. The gloves in those cases are included in the Hydra case and the glove case, but the knives here are still included in one of the cases in the active drop rotation, so that's going to lower the price of the case a little bit, and I 100% agree with that. Overall, for the Shattered Web case moving forward, I feel very confident that the price point we're holding right now is just way too low for what we're going to see in the future. There's a limited amount of these cases, and I've said this from the very beginning, that this case price has to go up. 130 is extremely low, and right now the only thing that's changing the price of the case is just what people's perception is of the case. Right now, all cases are down because we just went through a massive hype clearing of cases, and I don't think that the case price right now is going to stick around for very long. If you're looking at investing into one of the cases I mentioned today, I highly recommend you do it in a very soon time period because these case prices will be back up in the next couple months, and I think if you're not planning to do it right now, you're probably not planning to really do it in the near future. Now, everything I mentioned today that I would potentially be investing in is a case, and there's good reason for that. After a huge investment hype we saw back in 2020 of July-ish and June-ish, we saw a really big spike in a lot of sticker capsules, a lot of autograph capsules, a lot of capsules in general went up super high in price, and they've just really never recovered. They saw these super high price points, and this is what I'm basically talking about with the Hydra case, is that these cases are down significantly from where their highest point was. But with these capsules that happened in 2020, I just didn't see a lot of potential there, and most of them have not really seen a ton of potential to date. They're kind of picking up a little bit because of another hype session, but these cases I was talking about, I think have a lot of potential because they're not just based solely around the hype that people are giving them right now, but they're actual long-term futures they have. But as always, guys, I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching. We are almost to 7K. We're starting on the road there. We're less than 400, 500 subs away. So if you guys are not already subscribed, it helps me out a ton. And remember to drop a follow on the Twitch. But as always, guys, I wanted to thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.